The India-Australia bilateral relationship is underpinned by shared values of pluralistic Commonwealth traditions, expanding economic engagement and increasing high-level interaction. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar recently called on Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese at the latter's official residence in Sydney and apprised him of the recent developments related to the strategic partnership between the two countries. The Foreign Minister says that the discussions reflected the full spirit of our strategic partnership. The meeting comes ahead of the Australian PM's scheduled trip to India next month as the two countries seek to finalise a trade deal following the interim agreement signed in April 2022. The interim agreement is expected to benefit several sectors in India, including textiles, leather, furniture, jewellery and machinery, even as it lifts tariffs on more than 85% of Australian goods exports to India. It comes at a critical time as both India and Australia are reassessing their trade policies. India is trying to establish its credentials as a country ready to do business with trusted partners and is busy finalizing a number of early harvest pacts. Australia is seeking to reduce its trade dependence on China by diversifying its export market after being at the receiving end of Beijing's trade weaponization. Prime Minister Modi had earlier extended an invitation to the Australian Prime Minister to visit India. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese also talked about Australia's relationship with India ahead of his upcoming trip to India. He highlighted that the India-Australia relationship goes from strength to strength. Australian Prime Minister Anthony said, "I've already had a number of meetings with the Indian Prime Minister and our economic relationship is important. I think we have complementary economies. I look forward to strengthening that as well as security issues. I, of course, am looking forward to being in India in just a few weeks' time now for the bilateral visit, and I thank Prime Minister Modi for the invitation." Several commonalities between India and Australia, including strong, vibrant, secular and multicultural democracies, free press, independent judicial system and English language, serve as a foundation for a closer cooperation and multifaceted interaction. The long-standing people-to-people ties, ever-increasing Indian students coming to Australia for higher education, growing tourism and sporting links, especially cricket and hockey, have played a significant role in further strengthening bilateral relations between the two countries. In recent years, India-Australia relationship has charted a whole new trajectory of transformational growth. Bilateral cooperation has seen exponential growth in existing frameworks of cooperation and further expanded across a wide spectrum of new areas, opening up new possibilities both at bilateral as well as global level. With greater convergence of views on various international issues such as international terrorism and shared approach to rules-based order in the Indo-Pacific region, the two great democracies of the region have expanded their bilateral relationship into global partnerships in plurilateral formats, including the Quad. Australia and India upgraded bilateral relationship from Strategic Partnership in 2009 to Comprehensive Strategic Partnership CSP in 2020. Over the years, an array of institutional mechanisms has been put in place to promote bilateral cooperation. Bilateral mechanisms including high-level visits, annual meetings of prime ministers, foreign ministers, framework dialogue, 2+2 defence, Joint Trade and Commerce Ministerial Commission, Defence Policy Talks, Australia-India Education Council, Energy Dialogue, Joint Working Groups meeting on different issues. Last year, after 10 long years of negotiations, India and Australia finally signed the India-Australia Economic Cooperation and Trade Agreement in a virtual ceremony attended by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Australian counterpart Scott Morrison. Prime Minister Modi rightly described it as a watershed moment for our, that is, India-Australia bilateral relations, underlining that consensus on such an important agreement in such a short period of time shows the mutual trust between the two countries. Geopolitics is driving the trade and technology agenda, and it is this geopolitical convergence in the Indo-Pacific that is also driving the present upward trajectory in the India-Australia relations. The Indo-Pacific maritime geography is the fulcrum around which New Delhi and Canberra are mapping their strategic priorities. Despite the differences over the Ukraine crisis, India and Australia remain committed to maintaining an upward trajectory in their relationship. India-Australia relations have evolved rapidly over the past few years, with the two nations also signing the Mutual Logistics Sharing Agreement, allowing them to use each other's military bases for logistics support, improving military partnership. This is symbolic of their commitment to strengthen their engagement in the Indo-Pacific for the promotion of an open, free, rules-based Indo-Pacific region, supported by inclusive global and regional institutions.